Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is once again that time to give you my Diablo 4 season review. This is going to be season 9, and honestly, still has the same problems that every other season has, in my opinion. And I'll kind of go through that and explain that with a little noob graph that I made in Paint. But first, let's just talk about kind of my journey here in Season 9, what characters I played, what modes I played. So, my buddy played some hardcore characters. I did a rogue in hardcore. My buddy ended up dying, and so then I kind of quit playing my hardcore character. I think we got to like Torment 1, so not too far. And then on my softcore, I played Spiritborn, the Rake build with the unique pants. Got to Paragon 214. Got some pretty decent gear actually this season. Nothing too like crazy good. I don't have any crazy gear, at least in my opinion, I don't. But I got some decent gear, and this build is very overpowered and a lot of fun to play. So that's my gear. And then here, I just maxed all these out because I had a bunch of these points to use. I thought the seasonal was okay. The powers were alright. I don't know. Every season kind of seems like it's a little bit of the same rinse and repeat. Like, you had the witch powers, kind of the same idea. You had the vampire powers, kind of the same idea. So yeah, I mean, the powers are fun. They're cool to mess around with. But again, it just still struggles really bad in the late game, man. Like, once I got to Paragon, like 170 or 180, like, I felt like it took forever for this experience bar to fill up. And, I'm rocking, all the consumables I can to increase my experience gain. The only thing I'm not doing is partying up. But I don't feel like I should get penalized for not partying. Like, that's stupid. And I felt like I was getting penalized for not partying when it came to fighting the bosses. And farming bosses. Because if you party, there's a chance that you got some extra loot. If you're solo, you don't get anything. It's just you. Third thing that really bothered me is mythics, man. Like Paragon 214 ran a bunch of dungeons, infernal hordes, pits, you name it, man. I ran it. I didn't find one mythic unique drop. One. Not one. And I know they're like supposed to be super ultra rare, but come on, man. Like, when I'm sitting here farming for 20 hours and I get maybe one upgrade, like, that's not fun. And then the Paragon, then the Paragon power creep really comes to a screaming halt around level 200. And then it's like, okay, this is like minimal gains for me to keep doing my Paragon board. Like, cool. Skill trees, I think, are better, but still could use a lot of work. I did, all my complaining here, I did have some fun with Season 9, but I think a lot of it had to do with the Spiritborn build that I was playing, the Rake build. This build is just great to play with. I'm going to jump out to a little graph here. This is just my noob graph. So this is kind of how I see Diablo 4. As far as how fun it is. Early game, a little bit slow. But then gradually, you start finding items, you start leveling up, getting better skills, getting better items, getting gems, excuse me, getting potion upgrades, getting aspects. And then the mid game, kind of the same story, getting new items, finding some uniques, finding some greater affixes. Then we're starting to get close to late game, and then it peaks about here, right when you're starting to get into late game. And it peaks here because you're finding all these you know like uniques or legendaries or greater affixes, leveling up your gems, got your skills and paragon boards going good. Maybe you're transitioning out of your leveling build into your in-game build here, right? Our early in-game build. And then we start getting into late game. And you start finding less upgrades, less legendary upgrades. You start finding less unique upgrades. You don't need gem fragments as much anymore. You don't need runes anymore because you found all your runes. You slowly start not really caring about upgrading your glyphs. And the pit comes less important. And then hell tides become less important. And then you farmed so many bosses and you haven't found a mythic unique, so you're like, what am I even doing this for? So then you get discouraged, the fun level keeps going down. Then it's end game, and it's like, well, what am I gonna do for the end game? You know, I found spending the majority of my time was running pits, upgrading glyphs, and then I would go use all my boss materials and not find any upgrades. Like no legendary upgrades, no unique upgrades, no mythics, nothing. And then you just keep doing the same thing, and the game loop repeats and repeats and repeats and repeats, and no upgrades, no new items, no significant power creep, and it just falls flat on its face. There's just no end game in Diablo 4, and I don't know the answer. I mean, you could do something like Project Diablo and do maps. You could do something, I mean, Path of Exile had maps as well. Path of Exile 2 has a decent end game. Last Epoch's end game is pretty good. I mean, I played Last Epoch season this time around, and I think I got my druid up to like a level 89, 88. So I played a lot of Last Epoch, and I thought their end game was pretty well done. You know, either that or bring back sets so we can start finding set pieces and allow us to feel like we're getting more powerful even in the end game. Maybe don't make Paragon leveling take so long. Maybe have mythics drop more. Maybe introduce set items. Maybe introduce a way players can craft items like in Diablo 3 where you could craft sets, uniques, excuse me, legendaries. All of it, man. There's so much they could do, and I feel like a lot of it's just kind of a rinse and repeat. Let's figure out what kind of powers we're going to do this season and just dress it up in a different way. I know I said this last time, and I'm saying it again. I don't know if I will end up playing Season 10. I probably will, just because I do like the Diablo world, and I do have fun in the early, mid-game, you know, early, late game. And, you know, honestly, if I'm playing these overpowered S-tier builds, it is pretty fun. But the end game suffers, end game lacks. They need to do something, because I'm done with Season 9. Hopefully they can figure out their end game. But after, you know, season after season, the end game kind of remains stale and dull without any changes. I don't see anything major happening soon. With that said, let me know down in the comments what you think of Diablo 4 Season 9, if you even played. Maybe you stopped playing after Season 2 or even after Season 1, or maybe you didn't even play any of the seasons. You beat the campaign and you're like, alright, I'm done with the game. Let me know what you think about Diablo 4. I know a lot of people hate on this game, but it is what it is. You know, it's definitely not the best ARPG. It's not the worst ARPG. Just kind of is what it is at this point. Thank you for stopping by. Please like, please subscribe. It means the world to me. Much love. Have a good day or night wherever you're in the world, and we will see you on the next one.